point that you can get out. If that's what you want to do, you got to do it.
Well, I kind of fail at everything I try, but I'm gonna still try it.
I remember watching you back up to the fence of Dennis Anderson's to hit that big jump right after Chris hit it.
So
it was
back
massive.
up. We'll tell, since we're on TV, we'll do the whole thing. So Scott Green and Sale was billed at Dennis's to do a big jump, and I have been going to Dennis's since 2011. And we talked about the big jump and doing a record jump, and it's something I want to do. Now, is my truck ideal for a world record jump? Of course not. My truck's probably the least likely candidate to do a world record jump, and nobody in their right mind would get in my truck and do that. But maybe I'm not in my right mind, or maybe I'm just... I want to do it, so that's what I want to do, and I see my truck doing it. So I had that in my head, that this is what I'm going to do. And I had talked to Dennis a couple times before that event, and he called me, he called me the first time and told me about it, that Scott was going to do it, and that he wanted to do like a battle. Okay, so he's going to book it as a battle, that I'm going to do it and Scott's going to do it, and obviously Scott might win. So, but not in my head. In my head, I'm going to win.
Look, it's anybody's game.
So anyway, well, Scott's done some really big stuff.
Some huge stuff,
I mean,
he's cleared our trailers.
And I look up to that. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
So, a big fan of that. So anyway, then it was getting closer to the event, and I think he said something along the lines of, I've got a lot of trucks coming. He had you guys coming, and he's like, well, I don't really need you. And that, if you want to light a fire under my ass, that'll do it. So here I am now. I'm in my own world, and I'm going for this world record jump. Of course, my truck wasn't ready. I don't remember what I had to do to it that day, but I got down there.
I remember when you got there, and you cut your transmission out of your truck, and then you welded it back in your truck.
There you go. That's it, no bolts.
I remember. So, that was the first time we ever met.
Okay. So I remember meeting. I don't remember what I had to do, but I got there, I think, Friday morning. And Scott had already been there, you guys were already there, and I just got to work, and in my head I'm doing this big jump. Well, now, Dennis and I have a long enough relationship where now he feels that he can not tell me what to do, but he's going to give me the idea that this is what I'm going to do, and of course, I'm the idiot that does the backflip before anything else. I'm not sure if there's any other idiot like that. It just goes out and
does a backflip
flat to the floor, into the wall. You know, you don't even hit a jump first, because we're always so scared my truck was going to break before I got to the backflip ramp that the first thing I have to do is a backflip, and then I can go play. Well, I never really make it past the backflip ramp. I just do a backflip, or I don't, and that's where I land, and that's where I stay. And nobody's paying for that, and I got pictures of a backflip, and I want to do the world record jump. Yeah. So I kept telling Dennis, no, I'm doing the world record jump, right? Okay, he didn't want to hear it, and we kind of had quite a few words about it, and that was what I was doing. Nobody was going to stop me, but he didn't want to hear it, so I worked on the truck all day on Friday. I worked on the truck all night Friday night, and the MSD box went bad. Remember, it took quite a while to figure it out. Because I was rummaging through your trailer, you were going to loan me it. And went and got a brand new MSD Saturday morning. I got the truck to fire up Saturday morning, but it still wouldn't move. I got it to move, and then the shocks were shot.
I remember you backed up the trailer.
Had no suspension. So I didn't have time to take anything apart. But anyway, I went to the driver's meeting. I heard the driver's meeting going on, and it was about halfway through, and I took a break from the truck and went to the driver's meeting to make my stand.
Came across the road.
And Dennis went through his whole deal of how the day was going to go. Scott was going to do the big jump, and that was that, and then he was going to have something else. And I raised my hand at the end of the driver's meeting, and I told him, I love Scott and what he's doing and all this, but I'm going for the big jump. I'm going out there, and the first thing I'm doing is a big jump. And Dennis again tried to get me to do the backflip. And said, no, the first thing I'm doing is hitting that big jump as fast as I can, and then I'll do a backflip, Dennis. And everybody laughed, you know. And so back to the truck, I didn't have time to take it apart and figure out what was wrong with the shocks, and quite honestly, I never been taught how to do any of it. Sometimes I'll meet somebody very smart and they'll teach me something, but a lot of times it doesn't stick. I'm just a caveman, and I'm doing what I want to do my own way, but it's all the wrong way. Everything I've ever done's the wrong damn way. So now the only thing I could do was I didn't have nitrogen, so I took my argon bottle and I just pumped my shocks all the way up. And that was that. And okay, maybe that'll work. So now it's time for the big jump, and I got my truck to move and got it over there, and I backed it in the corner of that fence. And Scott,
which isn't even straight on with the jump.
No, Scott had a straight run. Scott was backed up to the backflip ramp, and he's going to do a straight run at his ramp. Well, I backed all the way up to the corner of the fence and off to the side of the track. And now I'm sitting there, buckled up, and I'm ready to go. And Dennis again tried to talk me out of it. He came over, and I told him right then and there. I said, I said I don't make a very good dog.
Yeah.
And it's the truth about me, and it probably is a downfall, but I just do what I want, and win or fail, and I usually fail.
You got your mindset on it, and that's what you want to do.
And he said okay, and then it was Scott's turn to go, and Scott
he ended up having
he went around the track over a couple small jumps, and he went and parked, and he decided his truck wasn't right. So then Dennis came to me and said, "Are you sure you want to do that?" No, I remember now. My truck was only 2-wheel drive. I didn't have time to fix the front end.
I didn't even know that.
So I didn't even have a front drive shaft in. And he couldn't believe that I wanted to do that in 2-wheel drive, so I would never do that in 2-wheel drive. Of course he would. He would.
Oh, yeah.
He would. He's full of shit at that part. He would. I mean, I'm nothing compared to him. But he said I would never do that. And then before I went, he said, okay, before I fired my truck up, I heard him on the microphone saying, I would never hit that jump at 55 miles an hour in that truck.
Alright, here we go, Reckless Militia. All the way from New Jersey. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good already, guys. That is a transmission slipping.
That was my turn to go. So I fired up, and I took off a whole shot, and it's boom, bammed it in second gear, and pop, my seatbelt popped loose. So I stopped, and it turned out, I thought the whole thing came undone. I panicked for a minute, and I looked, and it turned out that it just had popped the link on my ratchet, on the crank. Yeah. So I backed up again, and then I just went for it. That was that. I blew, the front shocks exploded when I landed, and then I limped the truck purposely because I had promised Dennis Anderson a backflip, so I limped it around into the backflip ramp, but with no front shocks, it didn't have any push off, so I just stood it up on the tailgate, and and what I really wanted to do, I knew my front shocks were gone, I really wanted to crash that thing on its roof, and I didn't hit it hard enough. And everybody that day, of course they couldn't believe the big jumps of that day, but everybody that day told me how perfect it was that I just knew to stood that truck up on the tailgate. And that was just a complete accident.
Sure. And then I just remember standing there at the edge of the track, and I'm like, I can't believe he's going to do this. I can't believe he's going to do this. And I'm just watching this truck, and you're like, that thing weighs. If you've never seen the truck in person, you might go, wow, that thing's really built cool, like a rat rod. And then you get to see it in person, like, holy shit, he's got, I don't know, is that half-inch plate welded in there? It's heavy.
There's a really nice guy from this town that I appreciate very much, and he's always been a fan of mine. And when I had that, he'd never seen that truck as it is in person. And he came here to see it, and he'd seen videos of the backflip, and he wanted to see my truck. And I took him in the barn and showed him my truck, and he just looked at me and he said, there's nothing special about the truck at all. He said, it's just an old truck. And I'll never forget that because I don't know what he thought I had, magical powers or something, but it's just an old truck.
Yeah.
You know?